welcome to my island here on New Horizons. No. Yes. Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is, as you can see, not set in January. This is actually set to April 29th, 2020. It is the day that I have the first photo in my memory for this game. I thought that would be a good time to save it because, let me tell you, the winter is very blatant. I've been staring at so much snow for so long, so I wanted to record this video and set my dream to what seems to be one of the first days I played the game, because it's poetic in some capacity, I think. So, I'm going to be giving you a tour of the island, and then at the end I have two things I want to show that are in the winter, set in January, because I'm really proud of how they look. I changed stuff for the seasons, and I liked how those two turned out. And then I'll show some pictures of like before and after, and just some pictures that I've really enjoyed that I've taken. So, I guess we'll be doing a tour. So right off the bat we have the museum. It's a cool area, so I wanted it to be up in front. Got this and the statue over there. Well, I didn't want to go over here. And then we go back over here. We've got some pretty flowers up front, and then this is like the festival area. I change this out every month basically to be based on whatever holiday or season is happening at the time. So this one is set to be spring. I thought about setting it to Easter, but I thought it'd be kind of weird for the dream to be like permanently at Easter time, so it's just spring based. We've got some like markets for some fruits and popcorn, and then this one's selling like ramen and steam buns, that kind of stuff. And then you have access over to the beach. My beaches are relatively plain. I didn't want them to be super crowded because most times when you visit a beach, it's to be at a beach in sand and in the water, so I don't have a whole lot going on them. Got some nice trees, and like I've got this diving area. Let's pretend you can't see into that. I needed something to cover the dirt side of this ramp here, so I thought it was a nice changing area, but it wasn't until like several weeks later I was like, oh, you can look straight into the changing area. We'll just pretend you can't. And then right here is a mini mall, and I'll go ahead and give a tour of that probably later. And behind it we have just a nice little seating area. And then following this street down this way, and this is behind the museum, as you can see. The museum's right there. Kind of wanted like a main city area. We've got the Nook shop, and we have the Ables right here. And behind them there's like a permanent market area. We've got like the bakery stall, the plants, seafood, and the fruits. And then we've got this little guy back here, which also leads into the area where you can see that balloon, but I'm not gonna go get it. To City Hall. This is the main plaza. And over here we have just like a behind the shop thing. We've got like an AC, the garbage. I needed an area to do construction. And then a little snack area. The kind of theme of my island is like, I guess I should show the island's map. I wanted like one main area to be like the city, and then to the upper right is like a Japanese themed, and then the bottom left is like island, and then the top area is just like my island, farm, forestry. So I wanted like areas to have themes. These are my little villagers. We've got Muffy, Kiki, Q, Gladys, Spike, Tybalt, Blanche, Skye, Lopez, and Bluebear. And then we've got all our stuff everywhere in this main city area. I haven't done a whole lot of terraforming. I kind of wanted to keep the island the way I found it, basically. There's a little bit of terraforming on the land, and there's some water that I've added, but that's pretty much all I've done. Here's some more beach area. Once again, there's not a whole lot done, just a little bit here and there. We've got the seating area to look out at the ocean. And this here is Spike. house, and I tried to make them kind of themed around the character. So he's he has like the nature personality, and I also like the idea of him having one of the shops in the mall, so I have him here where he'd cook. And then up this way we have Hugh, and he is our food-based little guy, our little lazy guy. So he's got all the cooking stuff, he's got pumpkins growing by his house. And then we have a little sneaky area over here where you can sit and look at the river. And this is one of my favorite spots on the island. I just had this huge empty space because, like I said, I was trying not to terraform a whole lot. And trying to fit these 4 houses in this area was a pain, but it left that weird corner very empty. So I did end up adding this lake here, and I love the way it turned out. It's one of the things, like one of the most recent things I've done. Because, like I said, it took a long time to even think of something to put here. Also, sorry if you don't like weeds. This probably isn't the island for you because I use them to decorate everywhere. I love the way they look and that they change with the seasons. And then over here we have Tybalt, our workout kind of base little guy, our little tiger. He's got all of his equipment. And then up here we have Muffy's house. She's music and gardening. That's what she's got here. She's like she was one of my 2 first villagers that I've had, and I've put her house here and it's never moved. Pretty much everyone else's house, pretty much everything else has moved at least once. Not this house. This house has always been here. Good old staple. And then here's another entrance into the marketplace. And that's pretty much it for the main island, which is kind of city-based. And then we come up over this bridge, and we're going to be entering into the Japanese-themed area. So we've got Lopez's house. He's kind of like a snooty little guy. He's into fashion and stuff, and so I like the idea of him lounging by his pool, drinking some champagne, though I think this is technically sparkling cider, that kind of stuff. And then we head up this way, and we've got, as you could see, Gladys in her house. She's also quite snooty and into fashion. So I wanted her area to be very like pristine and fancy looking. So we've got like a tea drinking spot, plants, and then a little area for her to sunbathe. And then between their houses, we've got like a spa area where you can come and relax, like some hot tubs. And we've got the big old lake and 2 waterfalls over here. Very nice area. I'd love to be there in real life. And then we head over this way. Did I call her Blanche or Gladys? I always get them mixed up. This is Gladys's house. She's also into the nature stuff. And I tried to get the colors on their plants to be their favorites. So she likes pink and green, and like Muffy, she likes purple and black. So that's what's based around her house. Not a whole lot going on in this beach, but I do have a little seating area here by these trees, and then a little telescope because I think this would be an amazing spot to look up at the stars. And then behind Gladys's house we have like a little spot of nature. So we've got a lot of bamboo growing back here. We've got the pond. We've got like a little area where there's a game of, it's called Go, and a little basket for picnic. Stuff going around over here. Yeah, I like taking photos out here and like watching for stars here as well. Just such an amazing view. Excuse me, coming through. And then that's kind of it for the Japanese area. We'll head back to town. Oh, let's take this way actually. We have this little path that leads off across this little waterfall, and we're in the orchard right here. And I even got a little bike here because I figured if I live up on this hill, I wouldn't want to bike up the hill, but I might use this to get to town quickly. So that's why I have a little bike stored here. And then we could take this path here, and we're going to be entering into the island theme area. So we've got Kiki's house, and she was one of my first, I think she was like my 3rd or 4th resident to join us, and She's pretty much had this stuff by her house for always. I think when you built her house, it was like you need these certain items by it. And so these are what I put near it. It's kind of like rearranged and stuff, but I've kept kind of the same things going because I think it matches just the way her house looks anyway. And this is just a little shortcut. One of the main things I wanted to do when I built my island was make sure that it was still very easy to navigate. Like I didn't want to be trapped anywhere or only have one path. I also wanted to always be able to like fish. So you can see that there's only like one spot where I can't reach the river very well, but there's always extra paths you can take, multiple ways to go to places because, aw, hi Skye. Just because I don't want to be stuck to always travel the long path or something like that. This is Skye's house. She doesn't have a whole lot. She's got this little tent out here, but she pretty much spends a lot of time in her house, and if you go inside, it's very like ice-based. So I like the idea that she's kind of like a winter, like an Arctic wolf, and so when it's hot out, she'd rather be inside. So there's not a whole lot going on in her yard. Oh, time change. And then this is Bluebear's house. She's also she wants to be a star and everything like that, so I think she'd have like these really nice areas where she could hang out, have people over. This is just a nice little decorative area. And then the beaches here are, I paid more attention here because it is the island-based part. So we got an area to chill there. We've got like a ice stand that I would probably sell like these drinks and shaved ice and that kind of stuff. Here's the dock for my island where you can fish off of it. And obviously we have ourselves another lifeguard. And then we head up this way. We've got a little area for sunbathing and they've got like a cooler and stuff. And then if we head up this way, this is mostly left just kind of natural, except for we've got this little hammock out here with some candles. It looks really nice at night. And a little shell. I mean, it's a giant shell, but it's the one you can sit on and look out at the ocean on. And that would be the... Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. There is a little musical area over this way. Alright, I'll go around. The times that her or Kiki is blocking that one path is amazing. And then we have this little, like, performance area. I haven't seen them use it much. I mean, she was singing over there. Couldn't she have come and done it the mic? I have seen someone playing the guitar, though, so that was nice. And then you'd chill over here and watch. Oh, she's up again. Let's see if we can sneak past. Excuse me, Skye. Excuse me. Thank you. And then if we head up this way, most of the stuff up here is going to be based on like the forest. You could see the plants are kind of based on the area. So the tropical has the oranges and the coconuts, these guys. And then around the Japanese area, you have the peaches and the cherries, and then the apples and pears are in the city area. And then once you go up on this tier, there is no fruit trees. It's all going to be like pine. So over here we have just another little nature spot. We've got like a little seating area here from like a fallen log, which I think is super cute. The thing, you can tell what I've added recently because I'm like, oh, I love this spot. It's because it's new and I haven't been looking at it forever. So this leads into my house area. And I have a pool and a seating area and cooking. I got this little lake going on. And then we head up this. This used to be where I was breeding all of my, trying to get all the hybrid flowers. I moved that after I got most of them. Got a pumpkin farm here, and a little windmill. And then we head up this way. So this is what this garden area looks like. It took me forever to get the flow of like the colors right in this area. Oh my god. Just because there's like such weird transitions between each of the colors, so it took forever, but I'm super proud of how that turned out. And then off in the distance there, we've got a little lighthouse. And then we have the lake up here, which then feeds into several rivers. Oops. So we've got a big waterfall down into the big forest, and then the two that are right next to my house. And then we'll head off this way and then go through the forest. I tried to make it look like the further you got in, the more kind of magical it'd become. So as you can see, we've got like these glowing flowers and the mushrooms, which glow at night. This place looks amazing at night. And I wanted it to be like really overgrown and stuff. Got the big old mushrooms. And then out on these rocks, we've got a pirate treasure and a skull. I wanted them to be, you know, hidden because they're a hidden pirate's treasure. And then up here is the camp area. I wanted it to feel like you had to like go through this huge hike to get there. You know, you got to go over some rivers, and there's some of it you have to hop, and there'd have to be climbing involved to get there. Because you don't really want to be camping in a city. You kind of live there. So you want to be able to be out in the middle of nature, and so that's why the camp is on like the highest tier out there in the middle of the forest. So this is where we're at on the map. We're up. We've just seen all of the houses, and now we will check the interior of my house, and then we'll go check out the mini mall. So I actually just redid this like last night. It's been the same for probably 6 months, and then just last night I was like, this isn't working, and redid everything. Rechanged all the colors and stuff. So this is the living room. Got some of the gifted photos up there. I don't have them all yet. I think I'm missing 2. Or, let's see, how many do we got? 6? I think I might be missing 4. So we've got those up there. And then we have the bathroom over here. Most of the house is, 1, been the same since pretty much I started. And 2, it's not like, I'm not like the most proud of them. I'm mostly concentrating on the outside. So I kind of wanted it just to kind of look like a normal bathroom. You know, you've got your sink, those two, but they're not like super themed. Like some of them look like they're underwater and stuff, which is amazing, but I'm not skilled enough to accomplish. So they just look like normal places. And then over here we have the kitchen. Except for my living room, since I redid that. That is very fancy. Here's my kitchen with no chairs. Oops. Again, nothing too special. Just wanted counters, storage, food stuff. You know, I've got cleaning supplies in the corner there. And then head off this way. And then into the last room on this floor, which is the bedroom. This one's actually really cool. I just got this wall recently, which looks amazing with this lava lamp. But otherwise it's pretty much just your normal furniture stuff, you know. Got a changing area. I have this fan here because when I first laid out everything in here, it was the middle of summer. And that's where I had a real fan in my real life. It gets hot. And then we will check the upstairs next. This is supposed to be my office area here. So I was trying to make it look like it was divided into rooms. So this would be the hallway. And in this room, we have the crafting work area. And then over in this room, it would be like my office for my computer and books and everything. And then on this wall, this is all of my villagers. So let's see. Go like this. So here's all our villagers. He's moved on. She's moved on. He moved on, and so did he. But pretty much everyone else is still here. So these are my villagers. This room is so cool at night because all these stars glow in the dark, which I freaking love. And then the last area is like my boyfriend's office down in the basement down here. So I made this one kind of guessing what I think my boyfriend would want in his area. So we've got seating and books, archery-based stuff, jellyfish, and whatever these shocky ball things are called that I really like. Over here is like a electronics work area, storage, that kind of stuff. So that's the inside of my house. I'm gonna go off to the mini mall next. Alright, into the mini mall we go. This would be like the entrance courtyard kind of situation. Not a whole lot going on. Off this way would be... God, I wasn't loading there for a second. This would be Muffy's arcane and oddity shop. It looks really cool at night because all you have is these candles. So it's got like this extra spooky vibe going on. Oh, any of the, what are these called? Custom designs that you see. So like these guys, I'll have them linked down below or like have their QR codes down below so you can check them out as well. This is Spike's, diner kind of an area, which I'm overwhelmed by with all this wall stuff, but I think it fits that kind of diner feel. So this is just his little kitchen area and the seating. I thought maybe I should put in a bigger room, but at the same time, with only 10 residents on the island, you know, if there's 4 in here, it's almost 50% of the island is in this restaurant. So I don't think you'd need a whole lot of seating. And then in this area, you have the restrooms. So you've got the sinks and the different sorts of toilets, and I tried to create kind of like a stall situation here. Kind of hard to accomplish, but turned out alright, I think. Also not a whole lot to say about that room. And then lastly, this was what I would picture being my shop, and it is like a plant shop. So imagine you'd grow a lot of this out the farm and then bring it in here to sell. This is just all my plant stuff. Got a little thing for watering and everything right here. Yeah, that's the mini mall. And I did this probably in the last week or two. My original plan was to have this whole building a flower shop kind of a thing, but like I also wanted the extra storage in this place. And so I needed to add more rooms, and I was kind of running out of ideas on what to do. Like, sure, you'd have the main flower shop and maybe a bathroom, but then what to do with all the other rooms, you know? I also wanted to be able to customize the front. Just in general, the outside appearance, and you can only do that if you upgrade it to, I think, this point. So I had to come up with something else to use up all those rooms. So that is my island. And then I will be setting up a dream state so you can visit it as well. And then after that, after I'm done with this, I'm flattening it. Oh, I'm so nervous about it. It's basically restarting, but you get to keep all of your items and stuff. I'm just going to pick everything up, terraform everything to be flat, move all the houses to the beaches, and start over. So that's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm so nervous about doing it. Which is one of the reasons I want this video. It's like a memory of what the island used to look like and everything. But I'm going to go ahead and transition and show you those 2 winter-based things that I wanted to show off. And then after that, I'll show you some of the pictures. So, see you guys then. As I said earlier, hopefully, because I'm recording this before everything else. But as I said earlier, I kind of want to show off 2 areas that are snowy. They're in my current time, so as you can see, January. And they both end up looking better at night, so I figured I'd go ahead and switch time and look at that. And one final note, this is the first thing I'm recording with the Elgato, so it's a little janky. And if it looks like I don't know how to walk, it's because there's a slight delay. So if things are just a little off, I'm kind of getting used to it, but if I bump into stuff, that's why. So the first thing I wanted to show off is my living room. I changed that with the seasons, and I'm so pleased with how cozy this room looks. just with the low lights and everything. I adore this wall here. Let's look at it in a light. So I love the way this brick looks with the rest of my room, but it has snow falling in the windows, so I can't use it the rest of the year, which makes me so sad. But it's so cozy. Ignore the fact that stocking is stuck to a window. But yes, I love how this turned out. It's so cozy with the 2 lights. And then the rest of the house is the same as what you would have seen earlier. And then I'll go ahead and just record as I walk over to it. The last area I want to check out is the festival area. Hey there, Spike. Just because I change that obviously with each month. And I love how this area looks with the snow and at night and everything. We'll go over here. And I love it. I never got around making tables for these, or chairs for these tables, but the way this thing glows and is so colorful compared to all of this like pale blues and whites and everything at night, it's so nice. The other day I had shooting stars, so I was standing here under this tree and wishing on falling stars, and it was so lovely. So I'm going to wander around a little bit just so you could see what it looks like in the winter, just see how things change between the different seasons. When I switched back to check out when I wanted to do the main video, which was in the spring, I was shocked at how green everything is, because I've been looking at this for like a month. I think sometimes before Christmas the snow sticks and then it stays here until I think February. So it was quite a shock to see such a green world when this is what I've been looking at for so long. But finally, the last thing I wanted to do would be to look at some of the screenshots. I have some like before and afters, and I also just have some that I'm really proud of, so I'll show those here at the end, and then that should be it for this episode. So first off, here is the first photo I ever took in Animal Crossing. It looks so sad, it's like dark and rainy and gloomy, but I was really excited. And then the next one that I have is of the museum getting finished. There were some photos I could have been in where it's like just probably 20-30 bugs that I saved up while Blathers was building everything. But so a note is going to be that I can't get the same exact framing because these are taken in like a special event sort of a thing, and that I just can't get my camera there like they can during the special photo. So we've got the 2 museums, and then we have one of the first bridges I built that was nice. I had a couple wood bridges, but this is the first nice one that actually like stayed. Another thing that I tried to do when recreating these photos was keep a similar outfit but like evolved to include all the clothes I now have. So like most of them I'll keep like the same shirt and then base an outfit around it that's kind of the same. But, you know, I didn't exactly have much in the way of choice when I first started playing. I have the hiccups, I think. Next is my favorite bridge. And I just love that I got this photo of them all looking so surprised when they did the party poppers. Next we have the Able sisters, and this is pretty close, if not exactly where it stays after it's been placed. I think I might have moved it over a couple of blocks, but pretty much the same spot once I decided. And then for the last of the compares, this is the first time that I saw KK, I think. One of the first times, and then here at the end, you can't see me or my new outfit, but you know, it's okay. And then from here on out, these are just going to be some of my favorite photos over the time that I've been playing. First being from the wedding event, but a whole month of this event, you get kind of bored. So I ended up doing this kind of joke one where they're surrounded by zombie villagers. I tried to come up with like cool new photos every time, but it did get old after a month. This was the 4th of July. I just really liked how this one lined up with her like waving the sparkler and the fireworks in the background. This is an example of how I changed that festival area every month. So this was the Halloween one. I didn't mean to capture it where the cloud was going over like that, but it kind of looks like she's about to be stepped on by a very big monster. That's why she's so startled. This is probably my favorite photo of my character ever, or just in general my favorite photo ever. Obviously this was Halloween Day, just with the way that everything's covering the moon and the way all the lights line up and the way her expression, like how I caught it and everything. I just adore this photo. This is the most recent photo that I have of all of my current villagers. This was me making the like diving area to jump off into the water. Then we have the New Year's photo, which was just, it's so bright and happy. And then we have the my first aurora. So we have us sitting out here looking at it at the back end of the island. And then this is the festival area in the winter that I showed you guys, and it looks extra nice with the aurora behind it. Who would have guessed? So those are just some of the photos that I have that I really enjoyed from this game. I hope you guys have enjoyed the tour of my island. I am now, because I've been recording this for like 3 weeks now, I'm now in the process of flattening everything, so I hope you guys visit the island for me, because I can no longer go back to this version of it. Irie. Hi! So yeah, I'll have that linked below. I'll have any custom stuff down below and everything like that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tour, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.